Hi! In my last video, beating Pokemon Platinum with only electric types, I asked my viewers to comment what challenge I should try next. A lot of people requested fire types, and someone else requested I play Pokemon White 2. So I put the two together, and this is beating Pokemon White 2 with only fire types. The rules are the same as always. I can only use the first eligible Pokemon I encounter in a given area, although I can catch other Pokemon for use outside of battle. If a Pokemon faints, they have to be put in the box. No items can be used during battle, except for held items. The battle mode is set, and I can't overlevel the next gym leader's ace. Last but not least, I can't use multiple Pokemon in the same evolutionary family. Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 have 13 fire types available in the regional decks. I guess Game Freak learned from their mistakes after Diamond and Pearl. Our fire type options are Victini, Emboar, Simisear, Arcanine, Magmortar, Flareon, Darmanitan, Volcarona, Chandelure, Heatmor, Camerupt, Ninetales, and Reshiram. Of course, we don't have access to all 13 of them. Victini is a mythical Pokemon, which means it can't be obtained through any normal means. Magmortar is exclusive to Black 2. Its counterpart in White 2 is Electivire, which isn't a fire type. Reshiram and Heatmor are both found in post-game areas, so we won't be able to use them. We still have 9 Pokemon available to us, so this should be doable. So let's get started. I begin my journey in Aspertia City, and I meet Bianca to get my starter. I pick Tepig, who I name the Boar, and I have my first battle with my rival Hugh. In Flakessi Town, I meet the former champion Alder, and in Flakessi Ranch, I have my first run-in with Team Plasma. I can't progress to the next location until I go back to Aspertia City to get the first gym badge from Charon. I'm able to take out both of his Pokemon with Tail Whip and Tackle since they keep using Work Up instead of actually attacking, and Charon gives me the basic badge. Now that I have the first badge, this hiker will let me continue toward Verbank City. I can actually skip this double battle here since I only have one Pokemon. Speaking of which, it's time to catch my second team member. South of Verbank City is the Verbank Complex, where I can catch a Growlithe. I spend a while running around in the grass outside of the complex before checking Bulbapedia and realizing that I was in the wrong area and have to go inside the complex. Eventually though, I find a Growlithe who I catch named Jenny, after Officer Jenny from the Pokemon anime. Before battling the gym leader, I train for a few more levels. During this time, the Boar evolves into a Pignite. With Jenny at level 14 and the Boar at level 18, I go to battle the Poison-type gym leader Roxy. Fire and Poison are a neutral matchup, but her second Pokemon is Whirlipede, whose bug typing makes it weak to fire types, so a few flame charges take it out and earn me the Toxic badge. Before I can continue to Castelia City, I'm forced to go to Pokestar Studios, the most unnecessary and forgettable side area in any Pokemon game. I refuse to believe that anyone actually enjoys this area. Once I've gotten that out of the way, I have one more encounter with Team Plasma before hopping on a boat to chase them to the mainland. Before actually doing anything in Castelia City, I go north to Route 4 to catch my third team member, a Darumaka who I name Mako. Back in the city, Iris directs me towards the Castelia sewers, where I team up with my rival Hugh to fight Team Plasma. The sewer also provides access to this secret garden, where I have a 5% chance of encountering Eevee. Eventually I find one. In my first hardcore Nuzlocke, I named my Eevee Eon, and in my second hardcore Nuzlocke, I had an Eevee named Eon Jr., so this one will be Eon the Third, shortened to E3. Now that I've caught all the Pokemon I can, it's time for the gym. Castelia City's gym leader is Bird, the Bug-type master. His Bug types are weak to my Fire types, and 2 of his 3 Pokemon are part Grass as well, making for an easy win as I obtain the Insect badge. With the 3rd badge obtained, I continue to the desert of Route 4. Colress clears out the Crustle that are blocking the road and challenges me to a battle. He specializes in Steel types, so I easily take him out with my Fire types. In the Desert Resort, I find a Firestone. I'm gonna need 2 more Firestones, so once I reach Nimbasa City, I go to the Battle Subway. I team up with Rosa for some double battles until I have 6 battle points to buy 2 more Firestones. East of Nimbasa City is Route 16, which gives us access to Lost Lord Forest. In patches of rustling grass, we have a 10% chance of finding each of the elemental monkeys. Obviously, we're looking for Pansear. It takes a while, but I eventually find one and name him Zuko. Also, I could have done this way back in the Desert Resort, but I used one of my Firestones to evolve E3 into a Flareon, allowing me to add him to my team. Even though I already have the other 2 Firestones, I'm not evolving Jenny and Zuko yet. Arcanine and Simisear both don't learn any new moves after evolving, so I'm waiting until level 34 for both of them, where Jenny will learn Flamethrower and Zuko will learn Fire Blast. I use the TM for Dig on both Jenny and Zuko to have a super effective move in the upcoming Electric-type gym. I take out the trainers and then grind up close to the level cap before strutting down the runway to Elisa. She leads with Emolga as I lead with Jenny, then she Volt switches into Flaffy. Jenny takes out Flaffy, and Emolga comes out, then Volt switches again into Zebstrika. I switch to the Boar, who takes a few Volt switches before getting down to just 1 HP. I stay in to take out Emolga, then switch to Zuko, who lands a pretty strong dig before also dropping to just 1 HP. E3 comes out to finish off Zebstrika with a quick attack, earning me the Bolt badge. On my way out of Nimbasa City, I have to battle a few Team Plasma grunts before continuing to Driftvale City. I also have to take on a triple battle with Rock and Water types, which is terrifying for my Fire types, but I survive. The Driftvale City Gym Leader, Clay, specializes in Ground types, which are super effective against Fire types. None of my Pokemon have a secondary type to resist Ground, and to the best of my knowledge, none of my Pokemon can learn a single move at this point that's super effective against Ground. I managed to take out some of the gym trainers and get every single one of my Pokemon up to the level cap at 33, my only chance of brute forcing my way through the gym. Jenny and Mako together are able to take out Clay's Krokorok, but Excadrill comes out next. He outspeeds all of my Pokemon and is strong enough to one-hit my entire team. So at this point, Nuzlocke rules technically state that the challenge is over and I need to restart. But I don't have the patience to replay the game all the way to this point. I get one more level on Jenny and Zuko so that they each reach level 34 and learn their final moves, and then use my 2 Fire Stones to evolve them into Arcanine and Simisear. I'm now technically overleveled for the gym, but it's just a single level. The real game changer is the boosted stats from evolving, which I could have done at any level. I just wanted Jenny to learn Flamethrower. With Arcanine's impressive offensive stats, Jenny is now able to wipe through Clay's entire team, and he hands over the Quake badge. After defeating Clay, he invites me to the Pokemon World Tournament. I have to compete in the tournament to progress in the story, but this area also gives me access to my next Pokemon. Relic Passage connects the PWT to a secret part of Relic Castle where I can encounter a wild Volcarona, who I catch and name Ra. Ra's stats are amazing, but her current moveset is terrible, so I go to the move tutor and teach her Signal Beam. I also have the move reminder teach Jenny Thunderfang, so I finally have some coverage against water types. I enter the tournament where Jenny single-handedly defeats Hugh, Charon, and Colress without ever taking damage. After one more encounter with Team Plasma, I traverse Route 6 toward Chargestone Cave. On my way, Mako reaches level 35 to evolve into Darmanitan. I have an encounter with the legendary Cobalion, which I don't care about because it isn't a fire type. I pass through Chargestone Cave and reach Mistralton City, where I meet Professor Juniper. As soon as I'm here, I could go challenge the gym leader Skyla, but first I go to Celestial Tower to catch a Litwick. I name her Lumiere, which I'm just now realizing I misspelled since there should only be one R. Litwick is pretty weak until it evolves, which is after Skyla's level cap, so Lumiere is going in the PC for a little bit. Speaking of Skyla, it's time to go get the next gym badge. She specializes in flying types, which are weak to electric, so Jenny takes out Swoobat and Swanna with Thunderfang and Skarmory with Flamethrower, resulting in an easy battle for the Jet badge. After the battle, Skyla takes me on her plane to Lentimus Town. Right next to Lentimus Town is Reversal Mountain, where I can get yet another Pokemon, a Camerupt who I name Vesuvius. Because I have more than 6 Pokemon, Vesuvius will be joining Lumiere in the PC for now. Bianca joins me as I traverse through Reversal Mountain. As I reach the other side of the mountain, the Boar evolves into Emboar, and I enter Undella Town. At this point, I decide to switch Zuko out for Lumiere on my team, since the level cap is now high enough to evolve Lumiere. I forgot to get the Dusk Stone from the Strange House back near Lentimus Town, so I return to get it. I grind some levels so that Lumiere evolves into Lampent, then immediately use the Dusk Stone to evolve her into a Chandelure. I have another encounter with Cobalion, and this time I have an opportunity to battle it. But it isn't a fire type, so I knock it out and move on. In Lacunosa Town, I learn a bit about the legendary Pokemon Kyurem and have yet another encounter with Team Plasma before continuing west across Village Bridge. On the other side of the bridge, I encounter the legendary Virizion. Like Cobalion, it's not a fire type, so I knock it out and head to Opelousas City. With a few more levels on my Pokemon, it's time to battle the gym leader Drayden. He sends out Druddigon as I send out Lumiere. I use Will-O-Wisp to burn him, since Hex does twice as much damage against opponents with a status condition. I get him low, but I have something else planned, so I switch to Mako. Druddigon's attack is lowered because of the burn, so I can safely set up Belly Drum to maximize my attack stat. With the attack boost, Mako outspeeds all of Drayden's Pokemon to take them out in one hit each, even breaking through confusion for Haxorus, and Drayden hands over the Legend badge. After defeating Drayden, Team Plasma shows up to launch an attack on Opelucid City. I take out all of the grunts and end it off with a battle against Zinzolin. As always, his ice types are no match for my fire types. I fly to Undella Town and take the Marine Tube over to Humalau City, home of the 8th gym. The gym leader here, Marlin, uses water types, which will obviously be a problem for me. Even the very first trainer in the gym nearly one-shots Jenny. Nevertheless, I train my Pokemon up and challenge Marlin. His first Pokemon is Caracosta. I predict that Jenny might be able to survive 1 or 2 hits from him, but I actually get super lucky with the flinch rate of Thunderfang and take him out with no problem. Next is Wailord, who gets paralyzed from Thunderfang. A second Thunderfang gets him into red health, and I switch to Lumiere as Marlin heals with a Hyper Potion. Hex's power is boosted thanks to Wailord's paralysis, and I take him out in 2 hits, but not before he gets Lumiere down to just 12 HP. His final Pokemon is Jellicent, and I don't actually have a plan for this Pokemon. Lumiere is way too low on health, so I switch to the Boar, who nearly faints to a single Brine. I switch to Ra, who once again nearly faints to Brine. I need to prevent Jellicent from being able to attack, so I use Signal Beam hoping for confusion. Sure enough, he gets confused, but he breaks through it to knock out Ra. Now I send out Jenny, who can take out Jellicent with Thunderfang as he hurts himself in confusion. Marlin gives me the Wave Badge, the last of the 8 badges. I have all 8 badges now, but I need to defeat Team Plasma once and for all before I can go to the Pokemon League. I put Ra in the PC and catch a Marill to use Surf outside of battle so that I can get to Seaside Cave. When I get there, I join my rival Hugh and board Team Plasma's ship. I get the keycard and the password to encounter Zinzolin. Like every time I've battled him so far, he's a pushover as he still has ice types. After defeating him, I'm thrown off of the ship as it takes off into the sky, so I chase on foot to Giant Chasm. In Giant Chasm, I board the ship again and fight my way through its puzzle. Another easy battle with Zinzolin and an easy battle with Colress, and it's time to confront Ghetsis in the cave. I have to battle Kyurem, but that battle actually isn't too hard. The part of this that I'm worried about is Ghetsis himself. E3 takes out his first Pokemon, Kofagrigus, with a double flinch from Bite. His second Pokemon is Seismitoad, whose water and ground typing is terrifying for my fire types, and sure enough, E3 goes down to a single Earthquake. I send out Mako, who does some serious damage with Thrash before finishing off Seismitoad with Hammer Arm. Jenny survives 2 Earthquakes and takes out Drapion. I switch back to Mako, who barely hangs on after a crunch from Hydreigon, before taking him out with Hammer Arm. Lumiere takes out Eelektross with Will-O-Wisp and Hex, and the board takes out Toxicroak, finishing off Ghetsis' entire team and putting an end to Team Plasma. I put E3 in the PC and bring out Vesuvius the Camerupt to fill in the empty slot before moving on to Route 23 towards Victory Road. Pretty early on this route, Jenny reaches level 58, which is the level cap for the Elite Four, which means I can't use her anymore until then because I don't want to overlevel. I also get the TM for Flamethrower, which I teach to almost all of my special attackers. I reach the entrance to Victory Road, where N gives me the HM for Waterfall. At this point, I could go get another Fire-type encounter of Vulpix at Abundant Shrine since I need to use Waterfall to reach that area, but I already have 6 Pokemon, so I skip that encounter. I make my way through what I personally believe to be the coolest Victory Road in any Pokemon game. Seriously, the ruins of N's castle from the previous games is such a creative idea. Right before exiting to the Pokemon League, my rival Hugh challenges me to a final battle. I take him out without much trouble, but I accidentally get Jenny up to level 59. Guess this means the entire challenge is invalid, and I should just delete this video and the week's worth of work that went into it. After deciding that would be ridiculous, I take Zuko out of the PC to fill up my team, replacing the Marill that I've been using for HMs. I get all of my Pokemon up to the level cap, stock up on Hyper Potions and full heals, sell any revives I've picked up, and head into the Pokemon League. I can battle the Elite Four in any order, so I start with Caitlyn, the Psychic-type specialist. Zuko takes out Musharna, Lumiere takes out Reuniclus, Jenny takes out Sigilyph, and Lumiere comes back out to finish off Gothitelle. I know I rushed through my commentary of this battle, but that's because it was pretty easy. 1 down, 3 to go. Next up is Marshall and his fighting types. I send out Mako, who maximizes his attack with Belly Drum before surviving a Bulldoze. With the boost from Belly Drum, Mako takes out Throw and Conkeldurr each in a single Thrash before getting confused. I don't want to risk knocking myself out with confusion, so I send out Lumiere to go against Sawk. I hit a flamethrower, but I won't survive to land a second one, so I send out Jenny to finish him off. Marshall's last Pokemon is Mienshao. I send out Lumiere to avoid a high jump kick, which does serious recoil to Mienshao if it misses. I switch out to Zuko and use Dig, and Mienshao uses high jump kick again while Zuko's underground, knocking itself out with recoil, marking the end of the second Elite Four battle. Third is Grimsley's Dark types. The board takes out Liepard with a lucky 4-hit arm thrust. Crocodile comes out and lowers the boar's attack with Intimidate. I need to switch out to reset the attack drop, but I don't know how to pivot around his Earthquake. I sacrifice Zuko to a super effective Earthquake so that I can safely switch to Mako, who takes out Crocodile with Hammer Arm. Scrafty just barely survives the first Hammer Arm, but goes down to a second. His last Pokemon, Bisharp, would have gone down to a single Hammer Arm if it didn't miss, but it did, so I send out the board to take him out with Arm Thrust. The last member of the Elite Four is Chantal, the Ghost-type Master. Her Cofagrigus just barely hangs on after a Flare Blitz before healing with a Hyper Potion to tank a second one. With the recoil of 2 Flare Blitzes, Mako is already low, so I switch to Lumiere to finish her off with Hex. Golurk comes out and I burn it with Will-O-Wisp. The attack drop from Burn allows me to survive an Earthquake and take it out with Hex. Jenny knocks out Drifblim with Thunderfang and Chandelure with Dig. With all 4 Elite Four members taken down, there's nothing standing between me and the final boss. The statue in the main lobby takes me to the final chamber where I face off against the champion Iris. Hydreigon barely survives a Hammer Arm and Mako barely survives a Surf. Iris heals Hydreigon as a second Hammer Arm gets her back down to red. I switch to Jenny to finish off Hydreigon with Extreme Speed, and then take out Aggron with Dig and Flamethrower. Her Aggron knows Earthquakes, so I don't know why she never used it, but I'm not complaining. Her third Pokemon is Haxorus, who also knows Earthquake. Since Mako only has 2 HP left anyway, I sacrifice him to an Earthquake to get a safe switch to Lumiere. I survive an Earthquake and hit her with Will-O-Wisp. With the attack drop from Burn, I can switch to the Boar and survive an Earthquake at over half health. Unfortunately, another Earthquake gets the Boar low enough to knock himself out with the recoil from Head Smash. Jenny takes out the last of Haxorus's health with Extreme Speed, as Iris and I are both left with 3 Pokemon remaining. Lapras lands 1 Surf before going down to Thunderfang, and Iris sends out Druddigon. Okay, so now we need to talk. I only have 3 Pokemon left, 2 of which have hardly any HP, and both of Iris's remaining Pokemon know Rock Slide, which could knock out all of my Pokemon. I have no option left but to use healing items. I know it's against the rules of the Nuzlocke, but I don't see any other option. I switch to Vesuvius and use a Hyper Potion to stay alive, before a Dragon Tail forces me to switch to Lumiere, who burns Druddigon with Will-O-Wisp. Burn also cuts her attack in half, so I can heal all of my 3 remaining Pokemon while she slowly loses damage to Burn, sending out Jenny right as Iris sends out her final Pokemon, Archeops. I heal Jenny up to full health, but a critical hit from Acrobatics takes me out in just 1 hit. Iris gets another critical hit on the next turn, taking Vesuvius out with Rock Slide. My last hope is Lumiere. I use a Hyper Potion, Iris uses Rock Slide, and Lumiere survives on just 3 HP. I use another Hyper Potion as she brings my HP back into the red. Even though I'm keeping Lumiere alive, I can't attack at all because I can't survive for a single turn without healing. I keep stalling for a few more turns until Archeops activates my Flame Body ability and gets burnt. She misses Rock Slide on the next turn, leaving me at full HP, allowing me a turn to attack, and I take her out with a single Hex. With that, my team of Fire types has defeated the Unova League and I've become the new champion. I know I broke the Nuzlocke rules during the final battle, but remember that the rules are self-imposed anyway. The only thing forcing me to follow these rules is my desire to make the game more enjoyable. And I sure did enjoy making this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. This video took a really long time to make, mainly because I've been so busy with college and work. But despite that, I still plan on making plenty more of these videos, so stick around. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later.